The Chronorium?
Read it. Learn of your true calling. You must keep your soul. It will be needed to defeat Dr. Monty.
Who?
I feel like we should all feel like Nikolai in this moment. Dr. Monty? Who the hell is that? Monty, after all, he's this villain that has been shoehorned into our story starting in GK, which means he's only really been a player in our story for 4 Aether maps leading up to this moment in Blood of the Dead. I guess 5 maps in total if you include Alpha Omega. And now he's the villain of the main zombie storyline, even though, well, we already have this villain, and let's not forget that this guy was also at one point a villain, and yeah, I guess so was this girl. It's confusing. Zombies has a villain problem, and that's what I want to talk about today. Before I jump into it though, a quick announcement. Right now I'm doing a limited run of my Zombie Killer t-shirts. This is a limited run only. Get them while they're available. Once they're gone, they're not going to be available for a very long time. So go ahead, you can check that out. The link is in the description. Also, something brand new me and Reed are trying out. We are doing a special custom Zombros Alpha Omega poster. This is available on his website as well. You can check that out. We thought it would be fun to take our Zombros podcast and do a poster themed around Alpha Omega. And so if you want to check that out, a link is in the description. I should quickly mention that Primus and Ultra Rare patrons are already getting this poster for free. But if you're a fan of the show and want to support Zombros, or you just like this poster and want to get it, a link is in the description. You can find a link to both the t-shirt and the poster in the description. They're both only available for a limited time only, and this Alpha Omega poster won't be available again ever again. This is just limited just to Alpha Omega. So check them out. A link is in the description if either of them fancy you. The reason I bring all this up is because I want to talk about this moment in the ending to Alpha Omega. This is the moment where I think Monty officially crosses the line. This is the moment where, in the eyes of our characters and as well as ourselves as the players, we can move Monty out of that category of vague character whose side is kind of difficult to place and put him officially in the category of baddies. These are villains in our zombie storyline. Or at least I think that's what Treyarch is trying to get across in this moment. There have been plenty of moments before where it seemed as though Monty was the bad guy in the zombie storyline. I had talked about this in various videos. You have things like the Revelation Cipher, which explicitly mention keeping Monty away from the children and keeping the children safe from Monty. And then you also had moments where it seemed like the kids were cowering from Monty. It never added up. It never seemed right. And it wasn't until the end of Blood of the Dead that Richtofen explicitly mentions that Monty is the person we're supposed to stop. It all, though, officially comes together in this moment in Alpha Omega, where Dr. Monty kills Dr. Maxis. And I think that this time it's actually it for Dr. Maxis. Like, we've seen characters die and come back in the zombie storyline. Maxis has done it multiple times. At the beginning of the zombie storyline, he was shot, and then somehow his soul enters a computer system. I don't know, it was kind of weird. He died in Origins, and then his body enters a drone, and then that drone enters the Aether. I think this time, though, it's it for Maxis. To quote Thanos, no resurrections this time. This is probably going to be it for Dr. Maxis, and now we can officially establish Monty as the villain of our storyline. The thing is, this moment kind of bugs me. I'm not super thrilled with it, and it just makes me want to ask Treyarch, why? Let me first say that this moment isn't terrible. Like, I think some people are pretty down on this map. Some people are down on Black Ops 4 as a whole, but I really don't have much of an issue with this cutscene as a whole. Just kind of this moment and the fact that Monty is now our villain. Like, I don't have an issue with Monty killing Maxis. Maxis, after all, is a really killable character. He doesn't really do much to forward the plot. Like, he's not a person that is actually actively participating in our story. He mainly sits in the background and appears in radios. He's also not a character that us as fans are really clamoring to play as. Who the hell's sitting here in their rooms like, damn, playing as Ultimus and Primus is fun, but I'd much rather be playing as Dr. Maxis. Now that doesn't happen, so we can kill him pretty easily, and this actually provides really good motivation for Richtofen and Samantha. Richtofen, after all, is losing what to him is essentially a father figure, or at least I assume that's how Primus Richtofen looks to Dr. Maxis. And then Samantha is a very emotional character. She holds grudges. Now she has lost her father for real. Like I said, there's no resurrections this time, and you know damn well she is going to do everything in her power to make Dr. Monty suffer. She is the one who has now killed her father, and she's going to hold a hell of a grudge if I've ever seen Samantha. My issue, though, with this moment is really just Dr. Monty. It's this kind of moment that makes me want to turn to Treyarch and just say, why? Why did Dr. Monty do this? Why is Dr. Monty the villain? I mean, what the hell is Dr. Monty's motivations, and why does it differ from the rest of our crew so much that he needs to be the central villain? Honestly, establishing Monty as the villain just before the final map, then never giving him any motivation is just terrible writing. There's no motivation for Monty to be the villain. Like, I know we all love the zombie storyline, and I'm a big fan of it too, and due to the nature of how it's written, sometimes things feel rushed, or things come out of left field, or they feel unplanned, and a lot of times it is. But if we've barely had any time to develop Monty as a villain, or barely any time for him to be the foil to our characters, then how are we supposed to care or feel satisfied when we finally defeat him? In theory, we should only have one more Aether map left this season, and this map is supposedly going to wrap up the zombie storyline, or the Aether zombie storyline, and I honestly don't think that Treyarch can establish Monty as a great villain and develop him into a compelling villain in a single map, and that kind of makes me weary for the finale of Zombies. Now, I know a lot is up in the air with the future of the Aether storyline. Like, it's been hinted pretty heavily that things are actually wrapping up for real, and other people have suggested through leaks that maybe there are more than just one more Aether map coming, and I guess that would give them ample time to develop Monty as a villain. I don't know, but something's going to happen to Aether. We're starting to draw to a conclusion, and I'm just going to assume, because we only have one more confirmed map, that this final map to this season will not only be the finale of the season, but the finale to Zombies as a whole. There could be more maps coming down the pipeline and more opportunity to develop Monty, but for now, I'm just going to assume we have this map. And that's problematic. Just one map to develop a whole villain, it doesn't make sense. Now, I don't want to continue to be really down on Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 4 Zombies. There's a lot of negativity in this community, and personally, it bugs me sometimes, so I don't want to be super negative. But this moment, it really does actually irk me, and I did feel compelled to talk about it. Like, you could have saved this moment of Monty killing Maxis and kept it in the cutscene and still found ways to develop Monty as a villain, because it works as a cool, shocking moment to really end your map on a bang. Like, oh shit, Monty's not fucking around, he actually just killed Maxis. Like, that's cool. Keep that in the trailer, but build to it. Give me reasons that I should start to not trust Monty or think, oh shit, he might actually try to stop us. Like, there was no mention of Monty in this map leading up to it until he finally kills Maxis. It could have been so easy, though, to include dialogue from Nikolai and Richtofen, having them discuss who Monty is, what Monty's motivations are, why he's so bad, and then they could have distributed that information to the rest of the crew. Like, it's clear that Richtofen knows that Monty is bad, and I'm sure Nikolai is starting to understand that as he talks to Richtofen and reads the Chronorium. So why couldn't they have used these character dynamics and conversations to flesh out Dr. Monty as a villain? Maybe even throw a few random radios from Maxis being like, oh shit, I think Monty is starting to catch on. I think he knows we're trying to do this. I think he's aware of that. Throw a little bit of static in, so obviously not everything gets revealed. But God, they never really gave us many moments to build up Monty as this villain, other than maybe 1, 2, 3 hints. And then they just outright have him kill Maxis, and it just feels I guess, unearned, perhaps? Like, if Monty is our big bad villain, and we have one map left, I should know why he's the villain. I don't know why he's the villain. Like, what is our crew trying to do that Monty felt it would just be easier to stop by killing Maxis? Why is Monty evil? Is it because he likes to maintain power and he feels that our characters are a threat to his power? Is it because he doesn't like free will and he feels that our characters are abusing free will? Is it because we might mess up his perfect world? The motivation just isn't there. Thus, why should we, as receivers of this story, have any motivation to care about Monty as a villain? I mean, not to mention also, what the hell is up with the Shadow Man? Is he still a villain in this storyline? Is he a secondary villain? Are we going to kill both these villains? What happens when we defeat Monty? Then do we just move on to the Shadow Man? Like, is this just an endless gauntlet of villains? That's a whole nother can of worms that I don't want to even begin to open up. But, I mean, it's definitely something that should be asked. Personally, I'm just a little bit annoyed at how our story is being told, and I felt like I should bring this up. Sorry if it's too much negativity for a single video, but I felt that this is something that is worth discussing. I want to know more about Monty as the villain, and hopefully we actually do get more than just one more Aether map to build up Monty as this villain. That way, when we finally defeat him, it actually feels earned and compelling. We're going to have to wait and see. That's going to wrap things up for this video. Treyarch, if you're watching, please do give us more motivation as to why, or more of an understanding as to why Monty is a villain. Personally, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. I'm always covering the zombie storyline. And again, if you want to get your hands on the Zombie Killer t-shirt, a link is in the description of that. And if you want to get your hands on this custom Zombies poster inspired by Alpha Omega, a link to that is also in the description. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and bye.